This is Wall Street Confidential on TheStreet.com TV. We're taking action alert with Goldman Sachs. Jim Cramer has an update. Welcome, Jim.
Look, go read all the research. Always says it says the same thing. This was a great quarter for as a brokerage stock for as they go, but for Goldman it wasn't top notch. Now wait a second. That would matter if Goldman sold 13 or 14 times earnings. Goldman's multiple on its earnings is the lowest of the group. So the idea that you possibly could be critical of this, saying it's not up to Goldman snuff, is ridiculous. Every brokerage house, Morgan Stanley this morning took a big cash infusion. Every brokerage house in this country needs cash, except for Goldman, which is buying back stock. So then what the next criticism was in the paper was that Goldman doesn't even know how to trade its own stock. They bought it at $217. Goldman Sachs, if you do some homework, buys every single day. Whatever the average of that quarter is what they get. That's how they do it. They do not try to time the markets. So then the next criticism is there's a lot of one-time gains. The nature of the brokerage business is one-time gains. So if you don't want to put a multiple on that, you're missing the point of how they do their business. Then the next criticism was that fixed income was down dramatically. Of course fixed income is down dramatically. That's why Goldman has a diversified groups of businesses, of which fixed income was a travesty when I first got to Goldman. It was killing us. And then equities killed us and fixed income moved up. And that's just a cyclical basis why you have many different buckets at Goldman Sachs. So if one gets empty, the others do well. And then the next criticism was that Goldman forecast that things are going to be really badly next year. Totally untrue. David Vigner, in answer to a question, which was, what would make you feel like the business you could not do a good quarter next year? And he said, hey, listen, if business continues like November was bad. Now, he did not forecast negatively at all. He did, in a kind of joking fashion, said, listen, November was tough. Do we extrapolate November? Why should we extrapolate November fixed income for the whole company? Again, the question was regarding fixed income, not other businesses for Goldman, which is, remember, 60% overseas. The reaction to this quarter, which of course the stock got sent down, was foolish and ridiculous. And in the end, this was the best quarter, not of financials, but of almost every company I followed during this period. And so for the idea that it let Goldman down, there was another one, which is the compensation. But a decline in compensation was also how they made the quarter. Well, wait, they're paying $12 billion in compensation. Were they supposed to pay $15 billion in compensation? There are so many canards about this Goldman quarter that it makes me sick. And that's why I sent to actionalertsplus.com.
What's the action?
I said, look, below 200, it's a gift. Well, why didn't I just say buy it here? Because it's options expiration week, and options expiration week has always played havoc with Goldman stock, plus or minus 10 points. So I'm not going to tell people just load the boat up here, because everybody is sensitive to the idea that 205 is much worse than 198. I look at it as like $20.50 is not that bad, different from $19.80, but I use my rule of 10 divisor, which no one else seems to understand.
All right, Jim Cramer on Goldman Sachs, thank you very much. You're watching Wall Street Confidential on TheStreet.com TV. Don't go away.